Good morning. This is Tanny Reed Walker. I am a counselor with FCSS in the Barons-Rico-Warner area, which is in southern Alberta, Canada. I have been a counselor for over a decade and a social worker for 16 years. This is a pre-recorded video. I am away today, so I would like to leave something in this space for the mourners that are coming here. I am interrupting a series that I am in the middle of, and I just would rather continue doing that series live. But I thought I would just interject with a piece about pet loss. We traditionally in this space talk about loss of human beings through death and our experiences of grief and loss and mourning in those instances. But it comes to my attention a great deal the experience of loss of pets. Much like the societal experience in loss of a human being, loss of pets is not always taken seriously. We don't realize the impact and the long emotional pain that accompanies losing a pet. I myself had a lot of pets when I was a child, and as I lived on a farm. So I had lots of cats and chickens, and sometimes I would catch a mouse or a mole, all kinds of animals. And one time we even tried to rescue a goose that had been shot. Anyway, dealt with a lot of death. But my very best friend was my dog Rex. And Rex was amazing. I would go on very long bike rides out in the country, and he was always there with me, protecting me and just keeping me company. I grew up in a small community. No, I didn't have a great deal of friends. I didn't get to see them very often, and I was very different from everyone else. So I found school fairly challenging socially. But whenever I came home, Rex was always happy to see me. He was always up for whatever adventure we were on. He was always kind to whatever other pets I had at the moment. He was my very, very best friend. When I was about 12 or 13, we went away on a family holiday and we came back and I couldn't find Rex, and I found out that he had died tragically while we were gone. And that was very painful. And I was very angry for a long time, actually. Like a long time. And it wasn't until I was about 35, 36, late 30s, I was able to welcome another dog into my life. And even that was difficult, and I felt very resistant. So that was years. And I actually have filmed this video a couple of times. I keep losing it on my computer. And there's been times when I tear up talking about that story. I've told it a few times now today, so I didn't tear up. But it's okay to tear up. It's okay to feel those feelings of those animals that we love so much. I've known people that have had their pets for 15, 20 years, and they were the ones that were there at their darkest moments and their saddest moments and their happiest moments and just all the moments. And then the day in, day out of taking care of them and then taking care of you and laughing with them builds really deep attachments. We're attachment-based creatures. And so losing that is very impactful. Lots of times these pets have seen us through partners, they've seen us through friends, they've seen us through enemies, they've seen us through all of the times. And so to lose that support can be really devastating. So if you've had a pet loss, please be kind to yourself. If you know somebody who's had pet loss, please be kind to them. Take time to remember them. If you didn't get an opportunity to see them before they passed away, it was sudden, it was tragic, you were gone, however it is, or if you did get to, have a service for them, do a funeral, have a memorial, have a space in your home with maybe their collar and a picture. Just, it's okay to honor that pet. It's not just an animal. It was a being that was super, super supportive of you. And sometimes their personalities are not what you were expecting or hoping from a pet, but it was their own gift. They're their own beings, and their relationship with you is like nobody else's. I know that we currently have pets in this home, and each animal has its own preferred person. If they love all of them, and they are okay with all of them, it seems, but some they are closer, some personalities they jive with. They have their quirks. I know that every day after work, if I don't take the dogs out for a walk, they're going to be all over us because it's very important to them. And thank goodness, because it gets me out of the house. And I know that if they weren't here, as annoying as it is, I would really miss them. So be kind to yourself and be kind to others. And know that all of the feelings that we have and that we've talked about in grief and in mourning are going to also be exhibited with the animals. You're going to feel up and down. It's not going to be a linear process. You're going to be astounded at the difference in your life, and just breathe and be kind to yourself and cry. I also would like to talk about children. This is often most of humanity's, at this point in time, first big loss, at least in our Western culture where we do have a lot of pets. And even if they've had that fish just for a couple of days, they may have never experienced death before, and this is going to be their first experience. So please, please be careful and kind as you go through this teaching moment and remembering and helping them be open with their grief feelings. And if you address them and talk about them, their hearts can heal in such a beautiful way, and they can have such compassion for themselves and for each other and for other people, in realizing that a death is a big deal, whether it's a death of an animal or a death of a human. I just hold so much emotion for these little ones. I get them to come in and like their animals have been gone for like a year, and the parents are like, they're still missing Fluffy. It's like, that's okay. Talk about Fluffy. Make up stories about Fluffy. These feelings and emotions, they're huge for these little ones. And it opens up a massive door, because if their pet can die, who else can die? And they learn that it's permanent. And they learn how to have a new relationship with those memories of the people. And they learn how to take care of themselves when their hearts are hurting. And they learn how to manage the anger that can come up, or the guilty feeling. One of my pet chickens, I don't know, did I mention I had pet chickens? Everyone who knows me knows I had pet chickens. She used to live out in our old horse barn, and I would take care of her. And there were several days where I didn't go out to feed her. And she was fairly free. Like, there would have been food and stuff around, but I still felt very guilty. And I had a dream one night that she was laying in her makeshift pen that I had made her, and she was dead. So, of course, I woke up in a mad panic, and I went out to find her, and she was gone. And my dad later found her and realized that a possum had eaten her. And oh, the guilt. Oh, I felt so much guilt. And then I was also angry, and I found lots of reasons to be angry. I was angry that I didn't build a better pen. I was angry that my dad didn't help me build a better pen. I was angry that I was so busy. I was guilty that I didn't take the time to go out there and I just had all of the feelings about my pet chicken. And still, to this day, I remember the dream that I had before I went out to find her very vividly. These things stay with us. So if we can help children, like build that into us and build that own self-compassion and that caring in, I can tell you that I'm much better at taking care of pets now, partly because of the guilt, but I don't need to beat myself up over it. It's another learning experience. And really, the possum could have gotten in there anytime. It wasn't because I hadn't gone out there for a couple of days. The door was always open. It was a fairly free range area for this chicken to live in. But you don't know that when you're a kid. And even when you're an adult, you're like, oh, what if I had done this? Or what if I had done that? Those are all perfectly normal. And we can talk about it and be kind to each other. So if you know somebody who's lost a pet, or if you've lost a pet, maybe take a moment today to ask them about that and talk about any memories that come up. If you have a child that's really struggling, you can have a memorial for the pet. You could hang an ornament on the Christmas tree for the pet. You do all kinds of things. Remembering that pet isn't going to make the loss more painful. In fact, it might make it a little less maybe not less painful, but easier to hold that pain and to let it melt a little bit and let yourself soften. So it's a short Monday morning today. It's a very, very big topic of conversation. If you have any comments, please send them, drop them here. We can talk about the pets. If you want to email me, you can email me. There is a lot of emotion that comes with having these beautiful little animals in our lives and then losing them. And having to talk to somebody about it is perfectly, perfectly normal and perfectly natural. So until next week when I see you again, I hope you have a lovely week, and I will talk to you later.